Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you are an international medical graduate and you are planning to prepare for PLAB 2 or you are already in the journey, then this video is for you. Is PLAB 2 still worth it? Well, I get this question asked 1,000 times in my DMs. With all the new rules and upcoming UKMLA and considering the job market, it's a valid question. So in this video, I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know before starting your PLAB journey and deciding whether PLAB 2 is good or not. So let's get started. I have jotted down most of the things that I want to cover in this video so I don't forget to mention each and everything which I feel is important for you guys to know. So I might be looking at my computer screen now and then, just bear with me. So we need to know what is changing in 2026. The UK is officially shifting from PLAB to UKMLA, which is basically UK Medical Licensing Assessment. That means if you're an IMG and you haven't finished your PLAB 2 before the end of 2025, you will no longer be eligible for PLAB and will have to take UKMLA instead. The UKMLA has two parts. One is AKT and one is CPSA. Well, AKT is Applied Knowledge Test and CPSA is Clinical and Professional Skill Assessment. These both exams are kind of PLAB 1 and PLAB 2, but it will be more oriented with what UK medical students take. So is PLAB 2 still worth it? Well, it really depends on your timeline. It's worth it if you have already passed PLAB 1. You are confident you can take PLAB 2 before a 2025 deadline. You want a relatively affordable route into the UK medical system and you are okay starting with non-training jobs to build NHS experience. But I would suggest to think twice if you are just getting started with your PLAB prep and if you are not confident you will finish PLAB 2 by the end of 2025. And if you think that passing PLAB 2 guarantees a job, I'm sorry to tell you, it does not. If you want a direct path into specialty training, PLAB is not the way because PLAB alone doesn't do that anymore. So let's talk about the real struggles that IMGs are facing. And if I be honest with you, thousands of IMGs pass PLAB every year because there are multiple slots for PLAB 2 and it's not really difficult to get your GMC registration. So thousands of people are passing their PLAB 2 and getting their GMC registration, but that does not guarantee you a job because the job market is like really saturated. And if your CV is not competent enough, and sometimes it's not even about the CV anymore, because I have seen a lot of people who have done their clinical attachment, they have done their courses which are required for the job, they have been waiting to get a job and applying for maybe more than 500 jobs and not even getting maybe 3 to 4 interviews. So that's the actual case in the NHS at the moment. Especially if you require a visa sponsorship, it is going to be way more difficult for you to get one. NHS vacancies are there, but the competition is like really high because now they are preferring UK graduates more than the IMGs. And I think it's not even a bad thing for the UK graduates because they also have to compete with foreign medical graduates. So now that I have talked about the actual struggles of IMGs, let's talk about what are your options. So if you are still early in your journey, like if you are planning to start your PLAB journey, I would suggest that you might want to switch. Maybe you can go for USMLE, AMC, or maybe DHA, or maybe if you want to really come to the UK and if you end up getting a training job, or maybe you want to enter into trainings, then I would suggest that rather go for Royal College exams rather than going for PLAB, because it's just a licensing exam and it's not going to give you a base for getting into the trainings. So you might want to switch. And if you are halfway in your journey, maybe you have done your PLAB 1 and you have already booked your PLAB 2 and everything is sorted, you just have to go and give your exam, then I would suggest that along with your preparation, improve your CV, like, do some courses and do the courses related to the field that you want to choose. Like, for example, I wanted to go for medicine, then I was planning to do ALS, BLS, and then I was attending some conferences and some other courses that I don't remember at the moment, but these courses are like really, really expensive. It's not cheap, so just plan accordingly. I would suggest that do your research before starting your PLAB journey, because it is not easy now. It is not going to be a cakewalk for you, so just be prepared for that. I really wish somebody would have told me this before, but it's me. I always end up in these kind of situations, but I'm not really even bothered about it anymore that there is job saturation in the UK, because I myself don't want to apply anymore. But that's a different case, and I just wanted to warn people, be more careful about choosing your path after MBBS, because things are getting like really, really difficult and it's getting out of your control. Like, you have to be like really scholar and you have to be like really nerdy, I think. And if you are already halfway there, and if you are still planning to go for PLAB 2 and go to the UK for your clinical attachments or anything like that, I wish you all the best and I hope that you end up finding a job. Just be more focused on your CV, and that's all about this video. I hope I was able to give you a clear picture of PLAB pathway in these upcoming years. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, bye.